Hello, Senior 4. Okay, this video belongs to class 17, but it's basically part 2 of this new topic that we have been studying called modal verbs. Alright, so last class we learned that a modal verb is a type of verb that is added before the action to give some type of new message, to add, to give more message, a new message to a normal action. So last class we learned a few modal verbs that are used when our message is meant to be a piece of advice, un consejo. So we learned things like you should do your homework, I should go on a diet, should I travel to some other country, etc., etc. And today we are going to learn some more modal verbs that are used to give my opinion on certain situations. These are usually called, as you will see, modal verbs of deduction and speculation. A very long name to basically say that we use these modal verbs when we want to communicate a deduction, when we want to make a deduction about a certain situation. Cuando queremos sacar una conclusión, hacer una deducción sobre una situación. But when we make deductions, cuando sacamos conclusiones, cuando damos nuestra opinión sobre una situación, we are not always 100% sure. We can be very sure about something or we might not be completely sure. So there are different modal verbs to make deductions, para sacar conclusiones, depending on how sure I am about something. Dependiendo cuán seguro estoy sobre la situación sobre la que estoy opinando. Yes? So I'm going to start with the examples. So basically we are going to see modal verbs to make deductions, which is giving my opinion about a situation. We are going to use modal verbs in the same structural way we have been using them. Person, modal, and always infinitive after a modal verb. So suppose I am really sure that a situation is going the way I believe it is going, ¿no? Supongámonos que yo tengo una opinión respecto a una situación y estoy segura que esa situación y que mi opinión respecto a esa situación es 100% así. So, I am sure this situation is like this. Estoy segura que esto es de esta manera. I'm going to use the modal verb must when I am sure a situation is in a certain way. Cuando estoy segura que una situación se está dando de determinada manera. So, there is no sun. There is no sun. It is cloudy. It must be cold. I am sure. I look outside. I see there is no sun. So I am sure it is cold. So I can say, I am sure it is cold, or I can use a modal verb and say, it must be cold. Good. Then, when I am not so sure about a certain situation, about my opinion, when I'm having doubts about it, I'm gonna use another modal verb. So, cuando estoy con dudas, cuando creo que esta situación se está dando de esta manera, pero no estoy 100% segura, vamos a usar otros modal verbs. So, I am not too sure about this. I have doubts. We're going to use might, probability, ustedes ya lo conocen, or could, or may, que no lo anoté acá, pero también lo pueden usar, está en su fotocopia. But the most important ones usually are might and could. So, I am going out. I might come back early. I am not so sure about this. Cuando no estoy seguro y creo que algo es probable, probability, I am going to use might. Creo que podría volver temprano, but I am not sure. So, if I was sure about the situation, must. If I have doubts, might or could. And then, when I am sure that some situation is impossible, cuando estoy seguro de que algo es imposible, no, esto no puede ser de esta manera, es demasiado imposible, I'm going to use another modal verb. So, When I am sure something is impossible, I am going to use can't. I hear his voice. He can't be out. Si lo escucho, es imposible que esté afuera. So, he can't be out. I could say it is impossible that he's out, or I can say he can't be out. This is impossible. And basically that's it. So, more modal verbs. Modal verbs give new messages to the action. We saw advice modal verbs, and today we are studying deduction modal verbs. Modal verbs to give my opinion about the situation. We saw must when I am sure that the situation is like that. Must cuando estoy seguro que la situación es de esa manera. Might or could when I have doubts about the situation. Might and could cuando tengo dudas sobre una situación. And finally, can't when I am sure that situation is impossible. Can't cuando estoy segura que una situación es imposible. And that's it. That's all for this week. I hope you have understood this topic, and if you haven't, you can leave your questions on the classroom. Bye!